This is Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I am a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we are going to be talking about relaxing and how you like to relax.
Hey Shannon, how are you today?
I am great. How are
Good.
you doing?
I'm doing great too. I just returned from a very relaxing trip.
Oh, nice.
I included a spa day even.
Ooh, extra
Yeah.
relaxing on
Yeah.
a relaxing trip.
That's right.
But so what did you do? Since I know you don't like massages, you don't find massages relaxing.
Relaxing. I had a massage.
You did?
I did. But I had a massage, a pedicure, and a facial. And with the massage, the gentleman, I was not enjoying it very much. And Colby said, "How's the pressure?" I said, "It's too much pressure." And so he lightened up on the pressure, and then it became enjoyable.
Oh.
Yeah, because it didn't hurt.
So, yeah, it's not very relaxing when it hurts.
Right.
Is it?
And
Is it possible that you would like massages if they didn't hurt?
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons I traditionally dislike them is that I would only get them if I went in hurting, right? So I'd go in for like therapeutic reasons.
Right.
Yeah, so it was nice. I was pretty chilled when it was over. And the pedicure included mimosa. So that may have helped.
That makes everything better.
That's right. It was a very nice afternoon at the spa in Charleston, South Carolina, the Belmont.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. This is a total tangent, but I just read a British book the other day, and they call mimosas Bucks Fizz. Have you ever heard that?
No, how do you spell bucks?
Bucks.
Oh, no, I've never heard that. I like it.
I think that's what they were referring to. But anyway, I'd never heard that.
I like that we're, a minute into the podcast and we've already had a tangent.
It's our specialty.
That's right.
I find tangents very relaxing.
Oh, there you go. Right back on track.
Without much effort at all. Well, I have to say that I do find a spa day very relaxing.
Yes.
Yeah, I like I like a good massage.
Yeah.
Although mine have mostly been therapeutic, so not nearly as enjoyable.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's hard to take the time sometimes to take a spa day. I know I did it because I was with my college buddies and the host arranged it all. So.
Well, that makes it easier.
Exactly.
And usually when I come to visit you, we have a spa day.
We do. That's true. You don't come often enough, but yes.
I know. I could come once a month just to make sure that we got our spa days in.
I would appreciate that. Bix would appreciate that. Barry might appreciate that.
Maybe I have to arrange half of them when he's out of town. But that's an easy one. But it's not always something that is in the budget or in the time or financial budget. And there's lots of other ways to relax that don't cost anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are perhaps the best ways to relax. But the time, prioritizing the time for it is sometimes a challenge for relaxation in general.
Well, and I think we have a few things that we like to do in common, a few ways to relax. And you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm having trouble with that sentence.
It was a tough one.
But I think one of the ways that we both like to relax is reading.
Yes. I always have a book going, and I don't like stressful books too much. I always have an
me neither.
easy, interesting book going. Yes. And I enjoy drinking something while I'm reading or eating. Sometimes I don't like to just read. I like to read and have a cup of tea or a glass of wine, depending on the time of day. Or I got home last night from my trip about 9:30, and I had both while I read.
A cup of tea and a glass of wine?
In succession, not at the same time, but yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. That was
did you have your favorite bedtime tea?
I did. Mm-hmm. So those things allowed me to wind down before going to sleep.
Sort of feel like maybe we should share your favorite bedtime tea, even though I find it disgusting.
Well, okay. And because you find it disgusting, that's why I have it. That's why I found it, because you offered me some at your house, and I tried it, and I loved it, and you had me take the box.
Right.
Yeah, it's the Yogi Soothing Caramel Bedtime Tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's relaxing. You enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So.
It's great. It just doesn't taste good to you. And most other people I've offered it to.
But they sell it, so some people must like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what it was that I didn't like about it. But
I think it was the flavor.
I know, but I'm not sure what it was about the flavor that I didn't care for. Because sometimes I'll know that it's like, oh, it has licorice root in it, or anise, or something like that I don't care for.
Well, it's funny. I took some with me on my trip, of course, and I offered some to my friend with whom I was staying, and she was like, maybe. And then I told her how I came to get some, that you hated it so much. She's like, maybe I won't have any. And then she tried it, and I don't think she didn't have a strong reaction either way. But she said something that made me say, I don't like flavored teas. And she just burst into laughter. She's like, what are you drinking? What do you mean you don't like flavored tea? And I said, it's not flavored. I don't think of it as being flavored, but it actually has some vanilla flavor added to it, I think. So.
That's so funny. I think I would have laughed if you said I don't like flavored tea while you were drinking that too.
Yeah. Because
I think caramel is a flavor.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually a brewed tea.
Right. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I deserved the mockery I received. But it is very relaxing for me, that particular tea. And maybe it's all a series of reactions to the smell and the flavor as well, and the fact that I usually sleep well after I drink it. That makes it just cozy.
Yeah. Well, that's nice.
Yes. What other things do you like besides reading to relax?
I sort of feel like there's two parts to relaxing, and sometimes you get both in one shot, and sometimes you get one or the other. But I feel like there's like a mental, emotional type of relaxing and a physical type of relaxing. And I bring that up. A lot of things, sort of give you both. Sitting and reading definitely gives you both. I think floating gives you both. We'll probably want to talk about floating a little bit more. But I bring that up because I have found running and hiking and cycling. Hiking is when you, no, that's mountain biking. Never mind. But I find those things to be very relaxing, and I've really missed not being able to do them.
You missed being able to do them.
Yes.
Yes. I just want to make sure I understood what you were saying.
I am very sad not being able to do them and miss them.
Right. So you can no longer run. I forget what the list of things were that you miss.
Running, hiking, and cycling.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so until I get this whole ankle, leg, nerve, torn ligament thing healed up, there will be no running. There's not a whole lot of walking, so there's not going to be any hiking. And I've been riding my bike on a trainer, so it turns it into a stationary bike, and watching videos, but that's not particularly fun. But it was the only kind of exercise I could get without bothering my ankle too much. But I found a way around it this weekend.
Oh, a workaround. But before you tell us
Yes.
the workaround, I have to say, if I were told by the doctor that I couldn't run, cycle, or hike, I would watch Netflix, but I would not be doing it on my bike on the trainer. I'd be like, yes, doctor's orders. I don't have to cycle, run, or hike. So hats off to you for your indoor boring trainer cycling thing. So, but what is the workaround that you have found?
An e-bike, an electric bike.
Is that like an e-cigarette?
Yes, but it's not irritating to people. Except for the people who are sweating really hard going up the hill while you're just have a big smile on your face pedaling, going 12 miles an hour with no effort whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm sure that is irritating to those people. So it is like e-cigarettes. So no, it's an electric bicycle.
Right.
Electric bicycle. So I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, so it's battery powered, and there's a motor, and this particular kind is a pedal assist, which means that you have to be pedaling for the motor to kick in. And then you start pedaling, and then all of a sudden it just gets a lot easier. And
That's excellent.
Yeah, so you're riding, you're keeping the bike upright and pedaling, but it takes all of the effort out of it if you use, there's 4 different speeds. There's eco, touring, something else, and turbo. Turbo is what allows me to go almost 15 miles an hour up a hill with no effort.
Oh, that's hilarious. I can just picture you now. Wow. So do you have to plug it in to charge the battery?
So there's a battery that comes off of it that you plug in and charge.
Nice.
And then the battery, depending on how much you use the electric assist, the battery is good for anywhere between 20 and 60 miles.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
How about that? So you can have the relaxation of cycling without re-injuring yourself.
Right. And then as I get stronger and as my physical therapy allows me and I can start to use my ankle a little bit more, I can use less of the assist to get more workout.
Right. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Good for you. That was smart.
Yeah, I was, and at first I was sort of reluctant to do it because it feels like cheating. Which, if people have been listening for some time, will know that's one of my things. And then I thought, screw it. I want to be moving outside, and I can't do it any other way. So I'm going to do this. Plus, it's good for the environment. I rode my bike up from my house to my apartment where I have my office. And it took me 10 minutes, which is the same amount of time it would take me to drive, except I didn't drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's really great.
So I feel like I get to have that movement, which is so truly relaxing to me. And also it's more relaxing for me to be on a bike than to drive for 10 minutes. And so... yeah, I'm really happy about that decision.
That's wonderful. So here's my question. Well, I think I know the answer, but why is it that riding the e-bike is more relaxing than, because you said it was the movement that was relaxing, than riding your bicycle on the trainer?
Because I'm outside.
Yeah, and you're seeing things and smelling.
Yeah, and I'm seeing things, and I feel like I'm doing something, and
right. That's what I figured.
Yeah, yeah. The wind in my hair.
That's great. Well, good for you. That's a great thing that you found a way to recapture that mode of relaxation that you enjoyed so much, because it's important.
Yeah, I'm really happy about it.
Good.
Yeah. So one of the things that I know we both like to do to relax is float.
Yes, and it's not in Missouri. When you say that, people think you're floating down a river on an inner tube.
Oh.
Yeah. And so people are shocked when I say I'm going to float, because I don't look like someone who wants to float down the river on an inner tube. If they know me
No,
at
because
all, right?
You're an indoor cat.
That's right. That would require me going outside and getting wet. No. Yeah. But I stay inside and get wet by floating in a flotation tank, right?
Yes. Yes.
And you introduced me to that a long time ago. And I remember it was one of those things where you said you had done it and you had to explain it to me. And you said, next time you come to Portland, we're going to have to do it. And I was like, that does not sound good. That does not sound fun. That does not sound like something I would enjoy. But if Shannon says it's good, I'm going to try it. Like, just like you said, let's have a podcast. I said, okay. And it was great. I think I loved it from the very first time. So I'll let you explain to people what it is, because you're more articulate about it.
Well, I don't know about that, but so the idea of it is and this always sounds so negative to me, but it's a sensory deprivation experience. And what that means is that it's usually about 14 inches of water, and they have different setups. So it could be kind of like a enclosed tub with like high walls that you could stand up in before you lay down in it. It could be more like a pod that you kind of get into and lay down in and pull the top down. The place by me now has what they call float rooms, which is big and there's no door or anything. And that's what I floated in the last time. But you're floating in about 14 inches of water that has something like 300 pounds of Epsom salts in it. So you literally float. You can't sink. And the water is skin temperature, so that if everything is sort of set up the way it's supposed to be, after you're in there, you begin to not really be able to tell what's in the water and what's out of the water. Mm-hmm. And then it's silent and totally black. Like once you turn out the light, you can't see anything, you can't hear anything. And so the idea is like, you are weightless, floating in this water, and there's sort of no or very little external sensation.
Right. It's like you're floating in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I didn't think that the float room would give me that sort of experience. It was more so. Because it's so big, you can't touch any of the edges, like at the same time. Which also sort of, if you accidentally sort of push off a little bit when you touch one, then it can sort of send you, ricocheting around in there. But I had a greater sensation, like a greater intensity of that floating sensation, that like floating in space sensation in the float pool than I did in a pod or a room. Interesting. Yeah,
I don't think I've been in a float pool like that, only pods and rooms. And I tend to like the pods. But I find it's very relaxing, both physically and usually mentally. I mean, sometimes I fall asleep and then I'm awakened because I snore, and it's very loud in a pod if you snore. But also sometimes I'm thinking so much when I'm in a flotation tank it's great because I get great ideas. Like it takes me places mentally that I don't go in normal life. And then I, get out and I always bring a notebook to write all my amazing thoughts in. But I always say to people that it's when you're through, it's like you had the best massage of your life, only nobody had to touch you.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I always feel like I'm taller when I get out.
I've never heard you say that. That's
really?
funny.
I've never told you that before?
Well, you probably have, but I just don't remember. That taller, wow.
Yeah, I feel like everything, gets sort of like compressed from standing and sitting. And maybe it was more so when I was running or something. But I just feel like everything is like stretched out and hydrated. Like,
wow, yeah.
Yeah, and because of the magnesium, which is what Epsom salts are made out of, you do get really hydrated from it. Like you don't get pruny. That's a great way to get magnesium into your system. It can be absorbed through the skin, and so it's really good for muscle aches, and the magnesium itself helps you relax.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. How frequently do you float?
Well, I haven't been floating much, but I've just gotten back on it, and my goal is to float at least once a month,
Nice.
and twice if I can. I've maintained this. Well, and this sort of gets into the other part of what we wanted to talk about today is the way that perfectionism can get in the way of you relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
And floating is a perfect example of that for me because a year ago, Christmas, I gave myself the Christmas present of, they had a big special on membership. It was this big discount. It was like, I can't remember, like 20% off or something, or 30% off of a monthly float if you became a member, and you could cancel at any time. And so I signed up for that, all super excited, and then proceeded not to float once. And
in what period of time?
In a year.
In a year.
Paying every month.
Yeah,
the good news is they accrue; they don't go away.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And they were kind enough to contact me and say, "Hey, we notice you're a member and that you haven't been in recently. Do you want to continue paying?"
It is nice of them.
Yeah, it was very nice. And they gave me a 3-month hiatus to decide, and I gave myself the challenge that if I floated during that period, then I would keep it. So now I can actually float twice a week or twice a month for the next year if I wanted to. But I can also gift them and use them, let other people use them when they come to visit me. Hint, hint.
Ooh.
But the reason why it became a problem was that I wanted to always find the perfect time to float. Like
time
I
of
wanted
day?
The perfect time of day, the perfect timing in terms of, wanting to come up with ideas,
Mm-hmm.
the perfect time of day because of what I didn't want to have to do much afterwards, or I didn't want to have to hurry to get my hair dry, or, like all this stupid stuff, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens a lot, for a year, actually.
Right. Did you think about it at least once a month?
Yeah. Every month when the money would come out of my bank account.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And now really especially I wouldn't think when it comes to floating, any time is a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now instead of it feeling like it needs to be this, optimal experience, I just need to get in the tank.
Right. Particularly when you have all these credits, and it isn't even yeah.
It's not like I'm going to be wasting any of them.
Right. Yes. Well, and I would do that. I used to have a monthly subscription, which I stopped when Barry lost his job. It felt like an extravagance and so forth. And so and then Barry got a new job, and I haven't started up the monthly, but I do go occasionally. And I actually have a gift certificate for 2 floats that my wonderful friend John gave me for my birthday in September, and it's now March. Oh. And I haven't used them. So there you have it, right?
Yeah.
But I think I would get caught up that little bit that way too. It'd be like, because I know how valuable they are in problem solving, I felt like I had to wait until I had a really good problem to solve.
Right.
Yeah. But I just jotted a little note to myself to schedule a float, for heaven's sakes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. But, and this is reminding me too that I don't remember if we had this conversation on the podcast or not, but I remember talking with you about you having difficulty in choosing what to watch on TV. Mm-hmm. And that, that's supposed to be relaxing, but it would get stressful trying to figure out what to watch.
Right. Yeah. It's so true. When I was getting a facial and the facial lady was causing me pain, it was not relaxing at all. She was extracting things, whatever. Ooh. She was trying to distract me from the pain, I think. And she said,
"What, by pinching you?"
No, she said, what shows do you like to watch on TV? And I said, there's too many shows. I can't answer that question.
Wait, that's how you answered?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I managed to come up with a couple. But that's true. Like, I can't even tell you what shows I like because there's too many of them. But you're right. It is sort of a little bit of a barrier to relaxation, isn't it? That for me, anyway, the many, many options.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure we must have talked about that on the podcast by now.
I'm sure we have. But, coming up with ways, like good enough ways to choose. But it's so funny. It feels like that, like, I have an hour to watch TV. This needs to count. I need to pick the right show to watch.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah.
And I've never been someone to rewatch series or reread books or anything, but I sort of find myself tending towards that because I know I'll like it. Mm-hmm. And
and it's a safer choice in that case.
Yeah. And it's like, instead of wanting to take the risk of watching a show with my precious hour that I might not like,
right,
I rewatch a show that I know I like, which is,
yeah, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Do you do that?
Yeah, I totally get that. Yes, I think I must, because I can absolutely resonates with me. But that said, I do like to watch shows repeatedly.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's more decision fatigue than anything. If I'm scrolling around in Netflix or whatever, and I think, oh, geez, I'm just going to watch an episode of Seinfeld. If I know the episode. If I have a favorite episode of Seinfeld, that's sure to please.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yep, I do know that. Hey, I've been watching old episodes of Jeopardy on Netflix.
No.
It sounds weird, but it's enjoyable.
I bet it is enjoyable, but somehow watching a game show on Netflix seems so weird. I don't know why. It's so troubling to me.
Oh, man. If they had American Ninja Warrior on Netflix, I'd be watching that all day long.
Yeah.
But it's a real, there's something very comforting about Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And it's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you can't even, I try to figure out when this might have aired. 2010? Just by the question.
Because Alex Trebek always just has on that tweed jacket and a brown tie.
And gray hair. Yeah, it always looks the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could tell, because it was when he stopped dyeing his hair. That was sort of a big deal. Do you remember that?
Uh-huh. And when he shaved his mustache, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's interesting. So I think that the way to get, there are ways to get around that. And, cutting yourself some slack to make the good enough choice. Mm-hmm. And you know what? We hadn't talked about this yet in this episode, but getting in touch with why you want to do something to make sure that what you choose to do gets you there would be really useful.
Do you mean why you want to relax?
what kind of experience you want to have in your relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
I think like if you just think, oh, I need to relax, that isn't as useful as, what kind of experience do I want to have?
So when you were mentioning that some things are relaxing physically and some things are relaxing mentally and some are both, I thought about yoga and how for me, it's almost always relaxing mentally, and it's occasionally relaxing physically, but mostly it's more effort physically. It's getting more relaxing, but I think I do it for the mental relaxation and also, of course, for the physical benefits.
Right.
So, I'm not one to go out running for relaxation. Like, I can't even imagine that. But I do enjoy, I do relax sometimes by walking my dog. I do it because I have to, but I also enjoy it when the weather's nice. But yeah, yoga for me anyway is one of those things that falls into that category.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And depending on what you're doing, it could be relaxing physically too. But
yeah, and I maybe I can't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast, but I literally fell asleep during a bedtime yoga session a couple weeks ago.
That's seriously relaxing.
Yeah, I was really tired going into it, but yeah.
Well, and we haven't talked about this yet, but one of the other things that I do to relax is meditate.
Oh, right, of course. Part of your morning routine.
Right. And I haven't done this in a while, but I used to listen to a recorded meditation in the afternoon for like a 20-minute or 30-minute one. Mm-hmm. And I called it napitation because I wouldn't necessarily fall asleep, although sometimes I would, but I would just get so relaxed and then get up and feel so energized after having, relaxed so thoroughly for 20 or 30 minutes, even if I didn't actually sleep.
That sounds wonderful. And it sounds like a worthwhile 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Was that something that you purchased?
I think it was something that was like a companion to something I did along the way or something. I have a whole bunch of recordings. And then also now you can listen to something like a 10-minute meditation from Headspace or Calm or, there are a lot of free ones available in apps that are useful. And then I also have listened to my own recordings, which seems sort of weird, but...
Oh, like meditations that you've recorded for other people?
Yeah, sort of like guided. Yeah.
Oh,
meditation.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's a great idea. I remember I had a period of time where I was under a lot of stress quite a long time ago, and I would listen to a guided meditation, and it was like the only thing that would calm me down and keep me from freaking out. I would just lie down for about a half an hour, and it was hugely helpful. Yeah. And I would get up feeling relaxed. Yeah.
Well, and that brings up a really good point, is sometimes when there's a lot going on and you're really stressed, that's the time that you need to take time to relax, to take some time to relax and you may feel like you need to be doing things, like there's so much to do.
Yeah, you can't possibly take the time out for that, right? Because you're too busy. Yeah, but that's when you need to do it. That's a great message.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see if I can find this quote, but I remember some point along the line reading something, and I think it was the Dalai Lama who said that something like, normally I meditate for an hour, but on really, really busy days, I meditate for 2.
Right. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so taking that time for relaxation, even if you're not under serious stress, but just if you're somebody who always feels like they have to be moving or always feels like there's another ounce of juice to squeeze out of the day. I just made that metaphor up. I'm not sure that works, but it felt good when I started to say it, but then it got kind of icky. I think it's important to feel that you can relax in order to rejuvenate. Otherwise, you run the risk of burning out.
Right, and that taking some time to relax can help you be more productive.
Yes.
We're not talking about binge watching Netflix for hours at a time, but, taking 10 or 20 minutes just to sort of take a moment and let your mind and body relax can be really useful.
Right, or 42 minutes, which is, I think, the length of an average drama that once shown on Netflix. Not that I would know that.
Yeah, that's an hour-long drama without the commercials.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Right. I think that's an important message and something that people who tend to be perfectionists might need reminding of.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing to remember, is that regardless of how long your to-do list is, how stressed out you're feeling, everybody needs and deserves a little bit of relaxation every day.
Mm-hmm.
And to figure out what feels relaxing to you, and maybe even make a list and have it handy, because, when you're needing it, it may not be so easy to remember what it is that helps you relax.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah.
So, anything else to say about relaxing?
Just a shout out to my friend Anne, who arranged the whole spa day in Charleston, and my friends Dee Dee and Denise, who went as well.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay for college friends.
That's right. No, I don't think I have anything else to add, but I do like that we talked about this right after I had an extremely relaxing weekend. So that was nice. Yeah.
It was very convenient.
Yes.
We did not even plan that.
We did not. I thought we were talking about something completely different today.
So just in case anybody is wondering, this is completely unscripted. And while we plan in advance what we're going to talk about, neither of us
ever remembers
until it's time to start recording.
Yep, we've pulled back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz here.
Yeah, there's the big secret.
I'm sure people are shocked to hear this.
In case you couldn't tell.
Right.
All right. Well, we would love to hear from you. How do you like to relax? Do you have any struggles allowing yourself to relax? Do you have questions about it? You can leave us a voicemail at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. You can head over to our website at gettingtogoodenough.com and comment on the show notes for this episode, or click on any of the links to our social media and chat with us there. And while you're on our website, make sure that you sign up for our weekly email, which includes the show notes, a link to the recording, and also is how we communicate anything else that is going on.
And you might notice that we have a new website when you're on our website.
It's true.
Yeah. Newly redesigned, like we designed it, but we changed it up.
So let us know what you think. For now, thank you for listening. This is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. This seems sort of weird, but I find recording these podcasts relaxing.
Yeah, actually, I always feel relaxed when we're finished.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is nice.